right, hello. We are back at Gen Con at the White Wizard booth, and I'm here with Rob,
Hey.
founder, CEO, developer, designer, all-around awesome person, here talking about Sorcerer. So, Rob, let's talk about Sorcerer.
So, Sorcerer's our newest game. We're very excited about it. First off, it's beautiful. The art, the
Amazing.
components, everything is amazing quality. Sorcerer is kind of a mashup between a strategy card game and a tabletop war game.
Okay.
So at the beginning of the game, each player creates a sorcerer by choosing one of the 4 character decks, combining it with one of the 4 lineage decks,
Okay.
and one of the 4 domain decks.
Very cool.
So, for example, I might choose this character deck, this lineage deck, and this domain deck. Then you take the cover cards off of each of those and you set those in front of you. And the rest of these get shuffled up, and that creates your deck for the game, which goes right there. And you have the avatar that matches your character deck, and you can put that on one of the 3 battlefields. These cards stay out in front of you all game. These give you special abilities that you can use in whatever location your avatar's in.
Okay.
And they also give you your character's true name. So in this case, I'd be playing Tegu, the Necromancer of the Outcast Sanctuary.
Okay.
And there are 64 different possible sorcerers you can build out of the base set alone. And then we have expansion packs, which give you extra characters, lineages, and domains, which vastly increase the number of combinations that you have. And in the game, each player gets one of these player boards, which track all the stuff you need to keep track of during the game. It acts like a playmat for the game, and also has a nice little cheat sheet here in the middle, which gives you little rules reminders.
Okay.
Now, the gameplay itself, the game is broken up into 2 primary phases. You've got the action phase and the battle phase. During the action phase, players will go back and forth spending actions. You've got these red beads up here on the coins. That tracks your actions. When you spend an action, you just slide that down 1 space on the action track, and then you choose any of the things listed under action phase that you might want to do.
Right down here.
So you can channel energy, which increases your energy by 2. The blue bead here tracks your energy, so you start at 6. If you spend an action to channel energy, you just slide the blue bead up 2 spaces there.
Okay.
You can spend an action to meditate. That's drawing 2 cards from your deck and putting them in your hand.
Okay.
Start with a hand of 6 cards, and to restock cards, you can meditate and draw 2. Okay. You can spend an action to cast a spell. Now, every card in your deck has a cost in the upper left-hand corner of the card. That's how much energy it costs to play the card. So if I chose to cast a spell, I would pick 1 card from my hand. I would spend energy equal to its cost, and I would play it on one of the 3 battlefields. Now, these 3 battlefields represent different parts of Victorian London, and this is where the battling in the game takes place.
Okay.
And each battlefield is distinct. The fighting there is resolved separately. Any special abilities the minions have only work in that area.
Okay.
So let's say at a minion out, they gave all your zombies +2 attack. It would be all your zombies in that location. They get the bonus. Zombies other places in the game would not get the bonus effect. So when you play a card, you just choose which location it goes in. If you put it in the location your avatar is, you can often get bonus abilities from those player cards that I showed you at the beginning of the game.
Cool.
You can also use actions to move guys around from one battlefield to another. If you're in trouble in one location, you can spend an action to move a guy over. And you also have some of your cards, like your character skill card, has special abilities that they can use. So this one, for example, says action : you can do some cool stuff. To do the cool stuff listed on the card, you just spend your action saying, I'm doing that, read what it says on the card, and go. So that's the action phase. So I do an action, you do an action, back and forth until all the actions are spent.
Go around,
and then once you're done with all the actions, you move on to the battle phase. In the battle phase, players go back and forth attacking with minions. So you resolve one battlefield at a time, and when you're resolving a battlefield, a player picks a minion to attack with. They turn the guy sideways, and they roll dice equal to the attack value on the card. So in this case, 2, and you'd roll your dice. Stars are critical hits. Blanks are misses, single skulls are hits, and double skulls are 2 hits.
Very cool.
The attacking player chooses where critical hits goes. You can put damage on the battlefield, or you can put it on enemy minions. When damage goes on a minion, you put one of these little damage counters on it.
Okay.
Damage is permanent, stays around on the minion forever. If you ever get damage equal to the shield value on a minion, that minion would die and go to the discard pile.
Okay.
If it dies before it gets a chance to attack, it just doesn't get to attack that round.
Sure.
Now, you can control your luck a little bit in the game with these little omen counters. So at the beginning of the game, each player gets one of these little omen counters, and anytime you play a card that has an omen underneath its cost, you're going to get another omen counter. So those will build up during the course of the game, and you can spend omen counters to re-roll individual dice where you don't like the result on the die. You can also use omen counters defensively. If your opponent rolls dice and you don't like some of their die results, you can spend your omen tokens to make them re-roll those. So players go back and forth spending the omens, and once they're done, the damage gets assigned.
Got it.
And then once that attack is done, if the opponent has any guys alive on their side of the battlefield, they choose a guy to attack with, roll the dice, and then back to you, back and forth until all the fights in that battlefield are resolved.
Got it.
Now, if you can ever get your opponent's side of the battlefield up to 12 points of damage, you flip the battlefield over to the ruined side of the city, and you put a control marker on your side of it. So, for example, if I won this battlefield, we'd flip it over. I put a control marker here, and it shows that I've won this battlefield.
Got
in a 2-player game or in a 4-player 2v2 team, if you win 2 out of the 3 battlefields, you win the game.
Okay, cool.
And the game can be played from 2 to 4 players out of the base set. There are, as I said, there's team play, and there's also individual play. You can do 3 and 4th player individual play. In those formats, the battlefields, instead of being lined up in the middle, as they are in 2-player, they're instead between the players. So there'd be one battlefield between me and you, one battlefield between me and the player on the other side. And when you win one of those battlefields, you get a victory point, and the battlefield actually resets. If you get to 3 victory points, you win the game. So there's the 2-side mode, 2-player and 4-player team, and then there's the individual play modes. And each one of these decks is unique. There's no overlap between this deck and that deck or any of the other decks in the game. So when you're creating your character at the beginning of the game, selecting those different decks, you get wildly different decks that do very different things from game to game.
Yeah, amazing. It's like you've kind of taken Smash Up and Magic the Gathering and Action Selection, and you just put this excellent coat of thematic London Victorian, just like this dread goodness. I mean, whenever you come by and see Sorcerer, it just looks absolutely amazing, and it looks like everything gameplay-wise backs up what you guys are selling on the front cover.
Yeah, it is. The gameplay is super fun, really high replayability, and it's got an excellent mix of luck with tactics and strategy, like those omen tokens, using those at the correct time, playing your cards correctly, using your actions wisely can make huge differences in the game, but you also have to plan for the unexpected. Maybe your opponent's going to get a really good set of rolls and you'll roll poorly in a battlefield, and you have to be able to plan around and improvise when fate doesn't go your way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very quickly, who are the characters that we have? So we have kind of like is it a demon?
Yeah. So basically, so we've got
Tegu.
Tegu. He is he's a warlord a Mongolian warlord who was possessed, and he's a torturer. He has a lot of cards in his deck which hurt his own guys and do really nasty things to the opponent. His special ability lets him draw extra cards.
Sure.
We've got Masilda. She has ocean powers. She worships a giant sea demigod. Pull him out here. That's this guy. And she has the ability to expend opponents' guys. She's got like tidal powers and
Got
can make it so opponents get sort of tied up by the tide and can't attack.
Yeah.
And Arispes is an assassin. He has lots of weaponry.
Yeah.
The people he's assassinated, he captures their souls and can send them out as attackers. And he can dig up weapons out of his deck and give them to his minions. And then Zevrain has dimensional powers. He actually died and then found his way back to the mortal realm through dimensional portals, and he has the ability to summon minions cheaper, and he's got these creepy extra dimensional monsters that he brings in. And in case you haven't noticed, it's a fantasy horror theme.
Yes,
so everybody's evil, everybody's a bad guy, and they're summoning up nasty and horrible minions and using evil magics on each other. And the different styles of magic are in the lineages. We've got the Necromancer, which is undead, zombies and such. The Bloodlord are vampires.
Okay.
The Animist has insect powers. And will be driving their opponent insane, represented by stealing cards from your opponent. And then the Demonologist has fire powers. They basically set opponents' minions on fire, and they take damage at the end of the round. So each of these decks give you different mechanics that you'll be using throughout the game. And then these different locations, the domains are where you've been training and gathering followers, and the Haunted Forest gives you extra Omen tokens. You can control your luck a little bit more. The Screaming Coast, you can do a kind of a berserker attack, take damage on your own guy and get extra attack dice. The Forgotten Temple can heal your minions, and the Outcast Sanctuary has a bunch of minions in it that give you benefits when they die. And when and the Outcast Sanctuary allows you to, after combat, kill your own attacking minion to gain extra energy to use in future rounds. So there's a lot of different mechanics that that combine in interesting ways together when you put those different decks together.
So the reason why I'm smiling, kind of chuckling, is because I was immediately completely sold. Just as you were going through everything, because with it being fantasy horror, it's easy to just lean back on the tropes that is just, your standard, your knight, your wizard, your rogue. You guys really took the extra effort to, I think, really make unique, standout characters, themes, classes that really give Sorcerer that unique edge that I think people are really going to like.
Yeah, the lead designer for Sorcerer, Peter Schultz, had worked on this game for many years, researching lore in various parts of the world, and the amount of love and energy that went into this game is massive. So it's
insane.
It's beautiful. It's got a lot of great stuff. And we have the base game is available in stores now.
Yep.
August 13th, we've got the first set of expansion packs, so an extra character, an extra lineage, extra domain. You can get an add to your collection of things to select from, which vastly increases your the stuff you have available. And we did a Kickstarter for Sorcerer, and there was a bunch of Kickstarter exclusive packs that got unlocked there. So the Kickstarter backers have those. But like with all our stuff in future Kickstarters, Kickstarter exclusives from our past Kickstarters are available for purchase.
Got it.
We actually have a Kickstarter coming up for Epic and Star Realms. We've got so we've got the Epic game right here. This is the Epic base set.
Yep,
this
very
has been,
popular. Very popular.
And we have new sets coming out for Epic. We're going to have a Kickstarter for that. We also have some new Star Realm sets that'll be available as an add-on in that Kickstarter, and you can just get the add-ons, or you can get the Epic with the add-ons. And we will also have the Sorcerer Kickstarter exclusives from the Sorcerer Kickstarter available for purchase on that Kickstarter as well. So that Kickstarter will be kicking off in August as well.
Excellent. Yeah, Star Realms is insane. So congratulations to you guys in Star Realms with Epic. Very, very popular card game that you can just go, and it's just very easy to learn, and that's really awesome.
Yeah, all the games we make have beautiful artwork, really great gameplay, and they all start very easily. It's very easy to pick up and go.
Excellent. Rob, thank you so very much for chatting with us. It was a pleasure.
Appreciate it, man.